Ladies and gentlemen, order in the court. Today's proceedings finds the people versus James McGill.
Legal troubles got you down? Bosses refusing the payout? Hit and run leave you stunned? Drug lords in your future? Maybe not. Because he'll get your case dismissed. He'll get you the defense you deserve. But only if you say the words.
Oh no, I need legal representation. Whatever shall I do? What do I say? Oh, wait. I know.
Better
Call Saul. So, without further la joie, let's begin judging Saul. Court is now in session.
You will atone.
Dragon, how's that gavel?
A little too aggressive in my humble opinion.
It's literally me banging on the hardwood floor of my alternate location.
Well, thanks for shattering the illusion for the folks at home.
I've got a real gavel here. Ooh, all right.
Which you'd think after 6 seasons you would have managed to do by now. Yes.
All right.
Regardless.
Yeah, really, after 6 seasons, yeah, I should just get like a hammer and just like bang bang.
Well, yeah, again, there's only 2 gavel marks, so let's not get too. Again, the gavel work needs to be legendary, not frequent. Anyway.
Okay, so Dragon, here we are, the second episode to premiere this week of Breaking Bad season 6. It's the beginning of the end. It's the end game, which is weird.
Not Breaking Bad.
Better Call Saul. Exactly. It's this very wonderful full circle phantasmagoria that we are on. In this episode, entitled Carrot and Stick, of course, Dragon, and the legendary, the man, the myth, the sandwich aficionado himself, Vince Gilligan.
Directed.
Yeah, I said directed.
I think you missed that, but I don't think if he said directed.
I said directed specifically because I don't know who wrote it.
All right. I'll tell you who wrote it.
I know I said directed because I was like, okay, I don't know who wrote it, so I'm going to say directed. Go back and check the tape.
Well, yeah, I can't do it now, obviously. Anyway, so of course, Vince Gilligan directed Bagman last season, did a great job with it. Debatably the most cinematic episode of Better Call Saul ever. And also, he directed Witness, which was a second episode premiere sort of deal too. So the writer on this, we had a duo. We had the great and powerful Tom Schnauz.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure I didn't want to speak out of turn.
we had Tom Schnauz and we had Ariel Levine.
Okay.
So Tom Schnauz, of course, written so many great episodes. Like just looking back to last season, Bad Choice Road. Usually does a lot of episode 7 work. He did the Witness episode with Vince Gilligan, way back season 3. Now, Ariel Levine, Place of Honor. So she's recently entered the writers' room. I think she's been around, but she's officially entered, and she had been doing some of the webisode stuff. And the webisode thing that she had done was the Kettleman short from season 3.
Uh-huh.
So the last time we saw the Kettlemans, Ariel Levine. And she co-wrote Something Unforgivable, the season finale last season with Peter Gould. So, yeah, she's moving on up.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So, Dragon, what did you think of this episode?
I really loved it, man. I obviously there's a lot of kind of whammo blammo with the opening of last episode, but I think thematically this episode was it holds up even better on the rewatch. I mean, there's so much, like, again, our juxtaposition between stories. That's what I'm geeking out about. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I really do like the stories. I'm more invested in the Jimmy side of things. I will say that the Nacho stuff, it's great. It's definitely slow build, and it has a really awesome climax. I will say I was kind of checking my watch as far as I guess it's one of those cases of like, we're trying to get you into the character's mindset. I honestly think it worked a little too well, but that's my only nitpick.
Not much of a nitpick, but okay.
I know.
All right. So all that said, let's just one thing to note though, again, when they premiered this thing, because you get wrapped up in, you kind of forgot like, okay, that was the end of last episode because there wasn't a credit break or anything. It was like, okay, we'll come back from commercial, we're still going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. There wasn't even a
Credits.
a,
There
a
weren't
bumper.
extras.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's start it off. So we start off with Mike, not just Mike, because we love that guy, but Mike the Cleaner, which is a throwback to how he was introduced.
Okay, I'm not the only one who feels a little bit confused about the envelope and they set up Nacho to get the cartel on his
Yeah,
trail,
they
right?
literally, yeah, Tiki, yeah, they basically they replaced the safe
Does Mike
identically.
know this is what's happening?
I'm pretty sure he knows. If not, I think he's smart enough to figure out. Okay, that's why we're. I'm sure he's going to ask the simple question of, okay, why are we doing the safe thing? I think he gets the idea. If not, like have it
So
any
I guess
explicit.
my one little nitpick with this cold open is that I feel like there wasn't enough emotional emphasis placed on Mike himself putting the envelope in the safe.
I think you're crazy, man. Because they had the emotional emphasis. You saw that he was, he hid the ID of Nacho's father. You see, he's kind of like he's doing some of this begrudgingly, but he's protecting. He's doing what he can to protect
The
Nacho's
Nacho's
father.
father thing is great, but that's an entirely different scene. I'm saying I think putting that envelope in is like that to me is a little bit more of a betrayal than because it did directly lead the cartel to Nacho. Like it led them directly to him. He got out by the skin of his teeth.
Well, more, yeah, don't get me wrong. It leads the cartel there, but also primarily it's basically the nail in the coffin, basically making it look like it's all Nacho. Nacho was a one man kind of betrayal sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of the yeah. Anyway, so just to facilitate the scene a little bit here. Just we check in with Nacho's girls who are kind of like hanging out in the apartment, and like playing with dominoes and everything. Mike enters full cleaner mode, like he was introduced for the first time in Breaking Bad, and I like that he's looking out for the girls. He gives them the option because a more ruthless drug cartel has come in to just kill him. Rather than like he goes in there, gives them money, and urges them to go a family or make new friends and get a life far far away from Albuquerque.
And of course, we've got to note the acting on the one actress, the Domino Girl, as I call her in this scene.
Yes, very tweaker-esque.
Oh my God, Dragon! Like this is so much a throwback to Jesse Pinkman that before I did recognize them as Nachos girls very quickly, but for a minute I was like, wait a minute, are we in Pinkman's place?
Why would we be in Pinkman's place?
Dragon, I don't know. It's a cold open.
How? Oh, come on, I don't think there's any reason anyone logically would suspect the Jesse Pinkman right now.
It's a cold open. We literally just I don't know.
I don't know. All right. But regardless, so once you did find out, okay, we're in the thick of it here again. Gus Fring, he's instructed Mike to meticulously break into a safe, swap out all the contents, basically leaving a little invoice in the envelope. But again, Mike protecting Mr. Varga by swiping the ID to make sure like he doesn't get wrapped up in all this. Unfortunately, that's not going to pan out well for him later, but we'll get there. I think it's sweet that Mike has sympathy for a father-son story, which, speaking to our affinity for the Mike Ehrmantraut character, it's just really nice to see that he does value that bond that Nacho has with his father. And I think maybe see some redemption for he and Maddie in some respect. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like that's a big reason why he's holding on to the father thing as much as he is.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't know. Dragon, I got to be honest with you though. This that whole cold open, it's like 7 minutes long, and it drags just a little bit. And this is going to be a super unpopular thing. I feel like I'm burying my head in the sand here with all these statements I'm making. But the one thing I really don't like about Vince Gilligan's directing sometimes is that it's almost a little too meticulous in terms of like, all right, we're going to see every painstaking detail of how this goes down. And
But it's like crazy amount of it's just to show you how like perfect Gus Fring
I
is.
understand. I understand. Here's the thing. I've already seen montages that are like exactly like this in Breaking Bad. Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of like, I get it. I get it. Gus Fring is a super duper meticulous guy. I get it. I don't know, Dragon. I just kind of feel like, with the 7 minutes, it's just we've been down this territory before. I didn't feel like the scene needed to be as long as it is. And I'm not saying I didn't really like the episode, but I am saying that I do think these little nitpicks that I have, I do think that I like episode 1 better. And I don't know how unpopular that is.
Well, again, they're both really good episodes. Doesn't really matter which one you like more.
Sure.
It's
all right. Anyways.
Anyway, okay. So the point being, the point is we've established the safe bit for later. Okay. So meanwhile, this is a great intro. We have Saul. We basically have Saul kind of. I love how we frame this. We're doing like a commercial pullback, almost as if like a real like modern commercial. Like all the times you'd see like these disclaimer commercials, like Saul Goodman basically going on about like a workplace injury ad. And we pull back and you see Kim eating her cereal.
It's just the perfect like McGill Wexler breakfast conversation, right?
Yeah. And the idea is so she's poking holes in the in kind of the con here as he's laying out like he's thinking about I'm going to do a commercial that will basically be targeted and that will basically get us a client or basically we're trying to get Cliff Main's attention. So okay, we'll use this ad and that'll bring us a client and then we'll send this client to Cliff Main and then give him the Howard Hamlin information. That's the idea. And then they were, okay, well, no, we can't. Personal injury is not going to get all the way up to the boss man. So let's try mesothelioma. As we know from season 2, Cliff Main and Davis and Main, they go crazy for mesothelioma.
Uh-huh.
So, again, so the point, but the problem is he'll absolutely take that case, and they can't have it go that far because otherwise they're going to realize there's no legs to stand on. They're going to land in trouble. They need a case that's tantalizing to get through the door, but will never go forward. So Kim again, she's helping vet the con here, and she's she's looking for the sweet spot, the magnet to pull them in and then release them. Then Kim has the idea of the perfect people that have that because again, the problem is you can't just have a new client because we need history with Howard Hamlin. There's only so many people that fit that bill, and Kim Wexler thinks all the way back to season 1. She's got a great idea, but Jimmy's gonna hate it. It's gonna be a toughie.
And Dragon, it's going to be the return of some fan favorite characters.
Oh, yes. Oh, for
we
sure.
like to call them the Cuddle Moons.
They're in danger.
Cuddle Moons.
All right. Okay, meanwhile.
I could resist.
So, back in the chicken farm, which, Gus Fring's been kind of camping out here for a while.
No, he has. It's pretty much like his base of operations for the past couple episodes.
Yeah, he's not been at the Pollos Hermanos for a while.
Yeah.
So Gus Fring, he's being shown, Tyrus is showing him evidence, pretty much the crime scene photos from the federales and everything took, at Lalo's complex, Lalo's hacienda, basically proving like the dental records and everything straight from the very corrupt federales, which again, already Gus Fring's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I love how Gus is just like so on, like honestly, Dragon, these first couple episodes alone already, I feel like Gus Fring is really coming into the Gustavo Fring that we know from Breaking Bad as far as just being super sharp and just like on it. But at the same time, he does have one major slip in this episode that we'll of course talk about. So
oh, he does. Literally, yeah, oh, he does. So he's questioning where the fire again. Gus Fring with the smart questions. Your last episode, he questioned, "Wait a minute, how does our mission accomplished happen when everyone's dead?" And now he's asking, wait a minute, fire? Where'd the fire come from? But Nacho did cause that little kitchen fire, so there's some like, why is Ladlo's body all charred up and too perfectly unidentifiable outside the dental records?
Uh-huh.
All right, so now here's the thing. So this is really clever on the rewatch. Like Gus Fring has one surefire way to know whether or not Lalo was alive or not. So he calls Bolsa saying he wants to extend a hand, essentially building up that he wants to extend a hand of peace. So basically, he's going to meet with somebody who would know. And of course, that's going to pay off wonderfully for Gus Fring. Meanwhile, let's talk about the real meat and potatoes of this episode. The Statue of Liberty, in the inflatable Statue of Liberty, is revealed.
Oh boy! All right.
I love that Jimmy McGill's destiny is shaped by giant
It's
inflatable
just
things.
Dragon. I love this so much because I feel like this adds a lot more. Like this is basically like an expansion pack for season 1. Like Vince Gilligan is like, hey guys, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a reason to come back to season 1 now. Guess what? You know the Kettlemans? Yeah. They give Jimmy the Statue of Liberty. We're not going to tell you how just yet, but yeah, it's all roads lead there.
By the way, fun fact, absolutely, it's literally the same Statue of Liberty they had tied on the building in Breaking Bad.
Uh-huh.
So literally the same one. I guess they used it for the opening too when they did all the shots for all the little kind of check-ins. Anyway, but yes, so we're at the Sweet Liberty Tax Service trailer office. By the way, we confirmed what the date is currently in Better Call Saul right now. We're still in 04, which means we have 3 years to jump left still to get the Breaking Bad. We're still 3 years away.
Yeah. So
it's
it's
May.
still a ways off. We'll see what happens.
May of 04 right now in Better Call Saul. Exciting things will happen, folks.
All right, so Dragon Betsy Kettleman, she might be a despicable lady in many senses of the word, but Dragon, she recycles. And you can feel good about that.
Yeah, seriously, Julianne Emery, she's always been so. Here's the thing: these actors, for Betsy and Craig Kettleman, they work together and they have like these rhythms intact. And Tiki, when they came back, all the rhythms came back with them. I mean, like when she gets up, her arms are by her side. She turns her whole body instead of just turning her head. She has utter hatred and disdain in her eyes when she sees Saul Goodman. Again, like hatred, the way Norman Bates hates Norma Bates' new boyfriend, like that kind of hatred. Because she feels she's been wronged when clearly she was not. So the Kettleman's returning again after we just checked it from very brief from that No Picnic short that was put out. It's just really, really kind of cool to see him back. And again, here's the thing that occurred to me, Take, on the rewatch that had not. Just why the Kettleman's coming back so perfect, outside of them giving us a Statue of Liberty, of course. It's the fact that it makes so much sense that, they literally were the start of the entire journey for Jimmy McGill, like running into, the whole Kettleman con, which led to Tuco, which then, led to, Nacho and, so on and so forth. The Kettlemans were and, Kim Wexler, kind of doubling down on Jimmy with the whole HHM affair and the whole, bingo of it all. So I don't know. It's just kind of, it never dawned on me. Like you and I are on the same page. Like I'd like to see the Kettlemans come back because we love the Kettlemans. They were fun. But there's great thematic reasons to bring them back. So it was
like I said, it's a perfect crossroads, Dragon. It's like it's the destiny calling moment. It's I don't know. I love it so much. Like I said, it gives them so much more weight as characters in season 1. I feel like this is a big boost to the rewatchability of season 1. I think.
I know that's what I'm saying. It was just a stroke of genius. I thought. I'm so embarrassed. I didn't think we absolutely have to bring the Kettlemans back. It's great. So. I love this. This is what cracks me up most. And by the way, I'm going to say
the Skater twins are sitting on the sidelines. Just
if the Kettlemans came back,
they're both shedding single tears, and they each wipe the other's tear.
Now, I listened to the Insider podcast. Now, they did mention they were trying to bring back as many characters as they could, but some may or may not have made the cut. I'm assuming the Skater kids did not make the cut, but who knows? We don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so about the actor who plays Craig Kettleman, I'm blanking on his name. I think it's Jeremy something. The point being, I'm blanking on his name. He should, if they ever do a biopic of our Albuquerque verse, men behind the camera, cast and crew behind the camera, he has to play Peter Gould.
Yeah, I can see it.
Seriously, he's like what I think.
I can totally see it.
Anyway, so Craig
Kettleman, man, I love the classic dichotomy between these two. Dragon, she is the only way to describe Betsy Kettleman, I think, is she is Karen Prime.
Yeah, she's the hammer.
Karen Prime.
She's the hammer with a pink handle, man. She's.
And then Craig Kettleman is like equal parts totally totally the classic ball and chain husband, but also just like, oh, nice to see you, Mr. McGill.
So this is what I'm saying. The
Like
way
he's so eager to please both parties. It's such a great dynamic.
that's what I'm saying. Their dynamic and rhythms, like the way they have it figured out, is that is that Betsy is old school, so like she believes like the husband should be out front, have the say and stuff, but really she's pulling all the strings. And Craig, because of this, Craig's absolutely subservient to her, but also he's always a beat behind about what's going on. So you see him stumbling, and she's like giving like a line reading to like, no, no, Craig, say this, and all that sort of. It's just wonderful. So just seeing those rhythms back, but also the added dynamic of he's so pleasant to people where she is not. Where it's like, oh, Mr. McGill, hello. It says, oh, I see you kept fit and unharmed in county, Craig. Like, yeah, it's just like, hey, get him out of here. Like she called her husband like to threaten him, and he's like, oh, all smiles and everything. Then she's pretty much like shoving him out the door. It's hilarious. All right, so outside is when they get down the brass tacks.
Oh, and can we just mention the sound design?
Yeah, sure.
Just the air pump for the Statue of Liberty, just ominously, just Dragon. This feels like Coen Brothers. This absolutely feels like Coen Brothers to me.
Well, speaking of the sound design, the best thing we should talk about, and this kind of crosses over some subtle Saul Goodman stuff. Inside, again, a lot of this is like like filing away in Jimmy's brain for what the office will be. If you think about it, outside of the obvious with the Statue of Liberty, is that the inside of the office, it's playing like like America the Beautiful, like but a Muzak version of it, which is what Saul Goodman office will do as well.
I'm really glad you brought that up. Yeah, that's a subtle detail, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Kettleman office is basically Saul Goodman strip mall office 1.0, Dragon.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy to think about. He's going to take so many cues from this place.
I just want to point it out because it just goes by really fast. Julianne Emery just kills me with this bit that she has when she just fires into the absolute hatred when he stopped by. He says, "Hello, Betsy, old friend or so," and then she's "Get out." Like that's what I'm talking about. That's like the Bates Motel levels of hatred. It's
totally,
so funny.
Totally.
Anyway, so outside, so basically, again, she's going kind of the Karen Prime, as you put it. She says, "We lost everything. Our kids go to public school now."
Karen Prime.
So those crazy Kettlemans, they don't. And again, I like how this builds up to why Kim Wexler has such disdain for Betsy Kettleman later. It's a really good build up to it because, well, we'll get to it later. I'll save it for later. Point being, Saul Goodman essentially makes the empty promise to lure them in about getting Craig exonerated after the fact, which does happen.
Okay, so I love this is just like a perfect example of Craig just being totally in the middle. He's like, well, we went to quite a few lawyers, really excellent lawyers,
real lawyers, says Betsy.
They were great, but they said it was like Craig is just like he's such a people pleaser, Dragon, that he's trying to please the lawyers that are not in the conversation.
Oh god, I love him so much. Again, cast him as Peter Gould. Do it today.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so it's like saying there's an angle. Oh yes, there's an angle. It's called justice. So basically, Jim, and I like that there's some DNA of truth.
Can I just say there's some really great Saul Goodman lines in this scene?
I mean, the Saul Goodman, Tom Schnauz's writing, so how can you?
The one that really got to me, Dragon, and my dad too, like we're kind of quoting it now, is the devil's dandruff.
Yeah, the devil's dandruff line. Yeah. I forget if already.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it's really funny. But yeah, so the Saul Goodman dialogue has been really great this season. It's always been good, but now he's going.
I mean, it's always been great, but like much like Betsy Kettleman is Karen Prime, like Jimmy McGill is full on Saul Goodman Prime mode.
Yeah, that's the difference. Like, well, already the dialogue's always been good on Jimmy, but we've going full Saul Goodman. He can really cut loose, which is
it's basically like in season 6. This is exactly where a lot of us kind of thought that the show would start as far as Saul's character.
Precisely. So, I like there's like DNA of truth here because this is kind of like Kim and Jimmy's endgame, kind of with the the Sandpiper crossing of it all, but he's kind of spinning it a different way, saying, "Oh yeah, there's grounds for a big civil suit that I want in on."
Uh-huh.
that has info. I can loop you in on what qualifies you after you sign the letter of engagement. I think this is the wonderful full circle season 1 callback. The big thing,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
it's like Chekhov's pen. They didn't sign
Chekhov's.
Chekhov's pen, which is
Oh
mightier
god.
than the sword, kid. It's mightier than Chekhov's sword.
Dragon,
It's
like
the
Better Call Saul just has such a way of making office supplies like the most ominous, dread-inducing things ever.
oh, you know it. I mean, the
It's,
post-it notes
well,
were
I
like,
mean, Breaking Bad too, with the box cutter, just in general, it's kind of a running theme through the Albuquerque
I mean,
first.
think about Kim's Odyssey with the post-it notes, and
Right.
and then of course the cachada of it all with all the
Oh
office
god.
supplies and the yes. Anyway, it's cacophony of office supplies. Anyway, so again, we make mundanity exciting on Better Call Saul, and I love it. So okay, sorry. Anyway, the letter of engagement, of course, like they refused to sign. Well, they didn't. They didn't sign because Betsy went to HHM, and of course now the irony of like we're using this to kind of take down HHM. Now they're finally becoming official clients by signing this letter. And of course, Betsy really ticked off, just stabs him with the pen, signing on his back, which brings us to the image that you really like, by the way.
Okay,
Here,
the
where
image, yeah, let's talk about it here, folks. The thumbnail. I okay, oh my god, it's a work of art. This belongs in a museum.
again, he says he's
So
happy
first of
because
all, we've got the background with the Statue of Liberty, which is like already like the crossroads sort of thing. And then secondly, like I love just like Saul Goodman just looks, he is in such Saul mode with the Sue and using the back to sign the paper and just the schoolboy, like childish, devilish grin on his face. Craig Kettleman signing it all intently. Betsy Kettleman looking on in disgust. Dragon, oh my god, this is such a beautiful frame that just encapsulates everything we love about Goodman as a character.
and just think about this, and if you had like to kind of boil it down to this, it's like it took him 6 seasons to get them to sign that paper,
Right,
and he had to
totally,
go through
totally.
all this to get these uppity big fish clients to sign the
Oh
paper,
man.
and he's just so darn happy about it. Okay, anyway, so eventually, so after like a bit of after like they say no, we're not, and then they eventually run around the corner chasing him. They sign. She jabs him with the pen, which is so Betsy Kettleman. God, I love the pen click buildup. By the way, he's like clicking the pen, like okay, signs coming.
Did part of you think he was gonna go for the balloon?
Do you mean? Wait, do you think was he going to stab the Statue of Liberty?
I mean, I know he wasn't, but did you think he was kind of thinking it with the pen?
Well, no, because like a little pen jab like that would not really take down that thing, at least not instantly, like you'd imagine. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Well, no, I know it went instantly, but I'm just saying, did you think like when I saw him do the intense pin click, I was like, oh, is he gonna like stab it and do like a little like cause it to have like an air leak or something?
No, I knew exactly because he's always done that thing. Like remember the phones in season 1 where like, he's doing like these like making the magic fingers with the phone. He does that sort of stuff. It's like, oh come on, no whammy,
Gotcha,
no whammy, no
gotcha.
whammy, like we all do.
All right. Anyway,
So basically, he reveals his big trump card in this case, the thing that could get him exonerated, which does sound plausible, but obviously, as Cliff Main lays out later, would not.
Dragon, you know what the ironic thing is here? Everyone's thinking that Howard Hamlin is snorting coke, but Dragon, he likes another white substance. He likes a couple bags of sugar in his tea.
Yes, he does.
Oh my god! Wow. Howard Hamlin tea. Oh god, Dragon Hamlin to go iced tea. Hamlin to go blue iced tea.
Yeah.
Just in general, I hope you like the idea.
Well, yes, Tiki. Yes, I do like the idea.
All right.
Yes. So
Okay,
he floats out ineffectual assistance of counsel, which is a real thing. Again, all the legalese being very, the T's crossed and the Di's dotted. Yeah. Dotted. Anyway, so basically, and having a lawyer who was impaired at the time, and I love this. Betsy Kettleman lays out that awful woman in the ponytail was a cocaine addict, and just like
oh my god!
So it's like no.
Kim Wexler is like Betsy Kettleman's worst nightmare, Dragon.
Which does pay off wonderfully.
Totally.
Because again, Kim Wexler again gave her excellent legal advice, and she was just like, "No, you're not listening to me. You're fired, lady." It's just like, no, not Kim Wexler. No, your lead attorney. Howard Hamlin. And Craig's genuinely wounded by it. Like, no, he was so
He was so
professional and
nice and
energetic.
he was so energetic. I love how Jimmy just takes it like, yeah, energetic. Exactly. And just like, of course, Dragon, one more time with the tea joke. We know it's not the Coke. We know that he just has some nice pick-me-up tea that he drinks.
Yep, after every
Give
hole
him
of
the
golf
extra
course.
pep in his step.
After a hole of golf.
All right, anyways.
Anyway, so
I'm going hard on the Hamlin jokes, Dragon. This might be he might not survive the first half of this season for all we know.
It's possible. We'll see. So anyway, so let's see. He's nose deep in the devil's dandruff, as Saul Goodman says. What about proof?
God, that's just that line is just pure poetry.
So they're asking about proof, which then he gives, and I love it. This pays off later. Again, they're going to rip off everything that he tells them there and try to repackage it to Cliff Main. That all comes out in Discovery. Just all you need to do is sign your affidavits, saying that you were there and something was off. So Betsy.
Also, we have kind of like a reoccurring motif of proof, which was basically the cliffhanger of episode 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. So, which proof very key in a legal show,
of course.
So it all, anyway. So Betsy then real smugly fires Saul Goodman. Just fires him with glee, and then essentially earlier on he begged him, like, look, I need you to sign this so you don't go off to HHM or Davis or those pricks at Davis and Maine, basically throwing Davis and Maine
basically as please go to those pricks at Davis and Maine.
Exactly. Just to spite him. He knows that Betsy Kelman hates him with a burning passion. So
totally.
It was elitist at Davis and Maine. Oh, I'm going to go there. All right, so he's walking off with a smile, and he's saying, "Hey," and this is really clever. He insulates himself here. He says, "Hey, if you say where that information came from, I get a cut. So go ahead." Basically, ensuring that they will not drop his name.
Yes.
Okay. Meanwhile, so Nacho. Long story short, Nacho is stuck at the Actilio in a room with broken air conditioner. He's very paranoid, looking out for Salamanca men or anyone looking to collect that bounty on him. He's fixating on a little vantage point across the way that if I were in that spot, I would be at a vantage point there. Could someone be watching me? Meanwhile, Erin, good old Erin Brill.
It was really nice to see her back.
Yeah, she's one of the Mr. Show co-stars' daughters.
Yeah, she had a really good energy.
Yeah, Jesse Ennis. So, Aaron is telling Cliff, who's the great Ed Begley Jr. playing his guitar. Again, Cliff Main going to be a fixture this season. I'm loving it.
I freaking love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just love how Better Call Saul is like built up this world of like mundane lawyers who all have their like super quirky hobbies.
We care about each and every one of them, and I love it.
We do.
Even Rich Schweikert.
Right.
Who originally was just a mustache, and he became so much more so a goatee, if you want to be all semantical.
I mean, even Kevin Wachtel is total comic relief energy.
I mean, yeah. More banker than lawyer, but yeah. Anyway, so the kettle... God says, "Hey, do you remember those? The whole embezzlement thing. The
kettlebells.
I love that they called them the kettlebell. Kettlebell? No, Kettleman. So
I'm sorry, Cliff. I believe the term you're looking for is Kettleman.
So they want to talk to the boss man because they want to talk to Erin because she's a prepubescent intern. Oh, they're being mean to poor. I know she's a GD pixie ninja, but still, come on. Anyway, so the basis. What is the basis of the claim? Really good editing on this episode, by the way. What is the basis of the claim? Cut the Betsy. Cocaine.
Basically, you can almost hear like the Law and Order, like da-dum.
Pretty much. So very sketchy intel, and that's the vibe you get from these.
I love. Okay, Ed Begley Jr. is playing this perfectly, man.
Yes, and he's so
because it's like on surface level, he knows that this is ridiculous, but Dragon, what he's playing so well is that tiny little spark of doubt that Jimmy and Kim just inceptioned the hell into his mind last episode. And like Begley Jr. is just doing so good with that little tiny sliver of doubt and I'm excited to see it fester this season. It's a great setup.
Yep. Now, like you have like Craig, it is sketchy intel. There's that believability that maybe Cliff's not buying it, but that end though confirms, oh yeah, it's still on his mind.
Uh-huh.
It's the fact that again, like 2 days in a row or so, like very close proximity, however long it is. So he heard like Craig saying he heard it around the yard and county, which is very unlikely.
That fucking cracks me up.
Anyway, so again, they rip off everything Saul Goodman told him about the whole, all the evidence, the proof of this would come out in discovery. You want us to sign some affidavits. And anyway, so I love that again, Cliff Bain's being so professional. You're basically saying, look, I see what you're doing. You're going after ineffectual assistance of counsel to exonerate Craig. It gives him good advice saying, look, it's even if I don't myself believe it's true, and sticking to maybe the hope that Howard is not a cokehead.
Uh-huh.
It's unlikely to succeed.
I like the line that he uses is it's not the Howard Hamlin I know.
Yeah.
Which Dragon, what I like about that line is it subtly implies like there could be a Howard Hamlin that he does not know.
Yep. So of course, they get uppity and literally get up out of the room, and she leaves. Of course, when she exits, you'll know she's doing the Betsy Kettleman thing where her hands are to her hip, her hands are on her legs, and then Craig is like every time Craig gets coffee poured, but he doesn't get to drink it. The coffee is poured, and then he leaves. He has to leave it in a hurry. And again, Aaron's going wow, like Cliff's going wow, and Aaron, this is all privileged. And then ultimately we have the this guy cracks me. This is a line only Ed Bigley Jr. could say this well here, where I tried to save you time, and he says,
I love that. I love that Aaron gets the last laugh at the end.
You did, Aaron. Thank you. And we linger on him. We linger on
it. The linger, man. The linger.
And beyond the linger, great transition. We linger on Cliff thinking about things to Gus Fring thinking about things. All right, so again, but seriously, just thematically, the juxtaposition between the carrot and the stick of the episode, the carrot of finesse, which is kind of our Saul Goodman story, and the stick, which is what Gus Fring's putting out of like what to do about things.
Sure.
Ultimately. So Gus Fring and Bolsa, they visit Hector to make peace and basically offer condolences over Lalo, and they're standing by the Salamanca family, and they're going to look for the traitor Nacho Varga. They're putting all the resources on. So again, Nacho's a dead man, essentially, is what we're saying with all of this. And Hector, this is a big moment because any move by Hector Salamanca is a big one, obviously, because when the only time he has not used that bell and he's moved usually is while he's in the chair was to soil himself. So it's a big move when he does something other than this. Thankfully, he didn't do that here. He extends his hand for the shake.
Oh boy.
And the look on his, seriously, Mark Margolis. Oh, he's so good. The look on his face. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the whole reason Gus Fring set up this meeting, to see what Hector's reaction would be. And the look on Gus Fring's face and what Esposito did here. Gus knows that evil look on his face.
Yup. It goes all the way back to Hermanos.
It's the face that Gus Fring, the man who's all in control and so terrifying himself, the thing that he has nightmares about is that man's face giving him that look. So Gus Fring, he's verified with that look, and the gesture, he's going that far to shake his hand like, hey, chicken man, I heard you during my coma. I'm coming. I have the upper hand now. Shake that upper hand. So Gus, he leaves and he calls Mike, and he says, I think he calls Mike.
Yeah, it's Mike, yeah.
Lalo Salamanca lives. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh,
these are two men who know the hatred in each other, man. You know me, I love characters that are built around hatred. It's why I love the Reverse Flash so much. It's like, yeah. You can feel that hatred, yeah.
All right.
So Bolsa, so now cutting back to Bolsa while he's in town. They go by Nachos' safe, they crack it, and they find basically the Octilio, they find where he's at. Basically proving that, he planned all this and he's laying low with the Octilio.
All right, so this next scene is definitely, I do think it drags out a little bit at the beginning. But like once it gets going, Dragon, it's an exercise in suspense to be sure. And by the end of it, I honestly think it's it's up there with 3 minutes as far as one of the best shootouts involving the cousins.
Well, with the setup is really clever on this, Tiki. I love that Nacho cleverly sets a trap to catch his surveiller here, where the lunch order comes in, he's right by the door, and he's watching like a hawk. So basically, when he opens that door, there's going to be a guy in front watching the door, and he sees that movement. This is really hard for Vince Gilligan to shoot, by the way, because it's such a subtle and precise movement to catch and sell that without dialogue. It's really hard to do. So Nacho breaks the air conditioner, he escapes, and he gets the drop on the guy. And this is the cleverness of the writing here. It's where Nacho, I love how do you feel the real noir kind of framing of this? Nacho with the gun and silhouette behind him in that dark room, like the lighting in the darkness. It looks really cool. So Nacho here, he suspects that Gus is working against him. He believes that Gus Fring is plotting against him. It's been just the paranoid being waiting there and the fact that he knows that Gus Fring doesn't like him. And Nacho's kind of piecing together that I might be the fall guy here, and this might not be good for me. So what he does is, I'm going to call Tyrus, tell him I'm leaving, and if he calls this guy, I'll know that he's working for Fring. And he does. That's really clever.
It is, yeah.
Yep. So he knocks him out because he can't shoot, or else the federales or other hitmen are going to come after him. So then we have the tense sequence after the commercial here. Nacho's trying to escape by hot wiring a truck, but oh god, it's too late. Both the Salamancas and probably men after the bounty for the Salamancas. They're all basically the cousins and company enter the motel, searching room after room for Nacho, who's like, that tense shot from the trailer where Nacho's in the seat holding the two guns, like just hiding for dear life. And you're right, full 1 minute type stuff going on here. Oh god, it's so tense.
Is it 1 minute? I don't know why I thought it was 3 minutes. My bad.
No, it's 1 minute because literally Gus Fring gives him like a 1 minute like.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, such a tense sequence here.
So,
and
I just, oh my god, the cousins, Dragon, they are so iconic in this universe at this point. Like, They don't have to say anything. They barely have to do anything. They are so just visually intimidating. I just love, I could eat it up, Dragon. I could fucking eat it up.
With a spoon.
The one jester, the come here jester.
Okay, that's the thing. So I love this. So I
love it so much.
I want to say each cousin gets one of these bits to do, because I think one of them does the come here and the other one says the one word, because the cousins so rarely ever speak. And remember, so there's a shootout going on between Nacho and one of the guys, and then the cousins show up and they shoot the guy gunning at Nacho because, again, the Salamancas are bringing him in alive to torture him to basically get to see if the Gus Fring is behind this.
Which is like way more terrifying than Nacho ending up dead.
Yes, so this is him shooting him and saying alive.
Oh man!
So then we have the 1 minute homage here. Nacho's like he's peeling out in the truck, and he basically, oh god, the cousins being so confident that okay, he's not going to come to us. We're not going to kill him. We're going to shoot at him so he wrecks. As Nacho makes a break for it, he basically guns and knocks himself out as he crashes into a car. Like, oh, poor Nacho. Nacho is in for such. He's already in peril. He's in for such a bad. He's been shot and he's been half dead. Like, what more can we do to this poor kid?
I feel like this string of episodes kind of officially eclipses Jesse Pinkman wading through porta potty shit.
I mean, the real question is: are we've towed the line of almost killing his father in front of him? Remember, we threatened his father in front of Nacho. Which, I mean, the next level is...
The father is absolutely going to be the breaking point, for sure, one way or another.
I'm just saying, if you measure him by Jesse Pinkman's torture in Breaking Bad, you have, killing of Andrea in front of him. That's as far... that's the only worst thing you could do to him. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, God, they're going to torture him, because he's in their clutches right now. Not just in their clutches, and he's been... anyway. So, all that crash in the cousins... clutches. Saul Goodman, he tries to he's getting ready for his morning. He's getting ready to wow Judge Papadoumian, who we name drop a lot in the Albuquerque.
We do, yeah.
Judge Papadoumian. She's going to see stars, all right. Look at this. All the flashy outfits. So he gets a call from the Kettlemans.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm sorry. What you meant to say was from the Kettlemans.
Yes. So they want
to... That's getting old, right?
Moderately.
All right, that's fine. I'll
Like
stop
more of
doing
more of
it.
like a one, more like if they're introduced, then you use a Kettleman's, then maybe you let it go.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, so they meet. They're going for a meeting at 9 a.m. because obviously they've kind of gotten on to Saul Goodman's ruse and they have a bone to pick. So Kim suggests using the stick approach, where Jimmy prefers. He's convinced the carrot will suffice. And I love this, especially on the rewatch, how we frame this, where Kim's eyeing the money that he's put in his pocket to bribe him to basically shut him up. And she's. We're seeing the bloodthirsty and repressed side of the good-hearted Kim Wexler kind of come out here. Where
Yeah,
she's
I love how this whole scene is basically like the best and worst qualities of Kim all in the same breath.
yes, and it's great. And remember, she's got a grudge against those Kettlemans because again,
Yeah,
they
totally.
put her in the corn. They put her in the corn rows, the corn. Oh, sorry, the cornfields. In the cornfields in season one after they fired her. Made her look
Uh-huh.
bad in front of Howard Hamlin. So again, Kettleman's going full circle to in so many ways. It's like the original people that kind of gave her the hoist of like, I'll never be good at HHM because these Kettlemans get me fired. Who knows? Anyway, so Tiki, the Kettlemans have called Jimmy to go. Maybe we should give it a shot.
Oh, okay. Well, gee, Dragon, why don't we? Let's do it.
All right, 505
505
842
842.
5662.
All right.
505 842 5662.
You've reached Saul Goodman. Looking for phones? Well, I've got a surprise for you. The phone guy is no longer just the phone guy. I'm the law guy, your law guy. That's right, Saul Goodman, attorney at law. You meet the law? You want the law to meet me. Leave a message after the beep. I'll get back to you before you sleep.
Delightful.
All right.
All right. Okay, so that brings us to back to the chicken farm.
Yes.
So I forget if it's Nick or Arthur. I think it's Nick. I think Nick's usually Mike's other guy here. This is a fun bit of irony from season 4 of Breaking Bad here, where there's a sniper posted at the chicken farm, not trying to kill Gus Fring, but trying to protect Gus Fring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's see. So Mike offers a thought here that Lalo, he's smart and he's if he's coming for you, he'd be here already. He's smart enough to know that he can't take you out without a reason that the bosses would okay, which means that he's in Mexico looking for Nacho. Which means basically Mike volunteers like I should go after Varga. He's in a foreign territory right now. He's not going to last if he's caught. You should let me go down there and retrieve him. Because of Salamanca's, they're just going to sweep him up, which obviously they've done already. And at this moment, Gus Fring, he's getting a glass of water. What does he do?
He breaks it, Dragon.
He knocks a glass over. That's the thing. I love this. Not like he's
Okay, this is such a big deal because it's like Gus Fring's entire identity is just totally molded on perfection. And this might be one of the first times, barring, of course, the face-off of it all, that he slipped up on literally anything.
Gus Fring's only been involved in a mess 3 times ever in the series, okay? When he killed a guy with a box cutter, even then he remained relatively clean because he was all suited up.
Uh-huh.
This and of course Face Off when he died. After his face is blown up. But even then he was keeping a tidy suit. My point is you're right. I love he doesn't break it out of anger. He just knocks it over. Gus is off his game. This is going to be Gus's big albatross here, man. He's got to find his way back to being the Breaking Bad Gus Fring. He's got to be on his game here. He's a little off. It's a huge moment. But I love this. I love though, and this speaks volumes. He made a mess, but he cleaned it up, and he didn't cut himself on the glass. He did it very meticulously, and he dusted it all off. Even like the little glass particles.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Gus Fring's not out yet. He's a little down, but he's not out. So, so then, this is where things get real. Jonathan Banks. Oh, this is why we love the man. This is why we need to make T-shirts with a little heart and a little picture of Jonathan Banks on it. So Gus's response after this, and I love this. He's directing it to Tyrus. He's speaking in Spanish, and he says, "Bring me the father."
And then Mike is just not having any of that shit, man. He closes the door. Shit gets real.
Yep. I'd like to think that Mike learned Spanish while he was in that town. I'd like to think that, but I don't know.
So one of the things I really love about this scene is that Mike is kind of shot in a little bit of a side silhouette in some of the shots. And it really gives him kind of like almost like a Dick Tracy, like kind of like film noir style vibe to him.
Which again is where Mike thrives from that 5-0 episode.
Totally.
But yeah, just the fact that he's not blinking.
Like he is just giving Gus the 1,000-yard stare right now.
Yep, and there's the fact that he knows that he does not want the father threatened like this. Gus knows this, and just the fact that Gus is like overstepping like this, and the fact Mike, I love the fact that he does like the nobody thing, and nobody when Bob quickly just drops the bullets out of the gun. It's like one of those things where Mike, he not only closes the door, he locks the door. Like you're not getting out of here. He just looks at him.
right.
Just like that is not happening. And whatever you think, and then Tyrus points a gun right at his face. And we've seen what Mike does when a man points a gun at his face all the way back in season 1 with Pimento. So we know he's in no real danger here. Says, just say, what? And of course, we have the big trailer line. Whatever happens next, it's not going down the way you think it is.
Yeah, they said it.
Yep. So again, Mike's trump card here that again, we saw Nachos trying to call him last episode. So the only person that Nacho remotely trusts and can call, has been trying to call, is Mike Ermintrout, who just called a little conveniently, but I'm allowing it. It's perfectly fine.
I'm totally allowing it especially because in episode 1 we established that he's been continually trying to call him.
Nacho has good timing right now. That's all I'm going to say. So Nacho calls him and he says, "That's Varga right now." BS. I've been trying to call him. Yeah, he's been trying to call me. He says, "Yeah, not my call. He wants to talk to you." Now remember, this is Nacho most likely.
I really wish, like, I don't know. This is like, it's totally fine the way it's plays, but wouldn't it be great if he just hands Gus the phone and he's like, "It's for you."
By the way,
it's totally fine the way they do it, but that would just add in a little bit more sass.
You know what I really love about the framing of this phone thing?
What
is the staging of this? It's so indicative of. I know we kind of did this already with the Werner scene 2 seasons ago, but still, it's a lot like Walt and Mike's scene where Mike had a gun on him and Walt had the phone call. The only difference is, Walt, it's a very similar thing. Walt's trump card was on the other end of the phone. So it's kind of reversed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so again, remember, Nacho most likely having a gun to his head forced the call and probably betrayed Gus of some note here. That's he's calling while he's in the clutches of the cartel. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, back to again the carrot and stick of it all here. So Saul Goodman, Kim Wexler arrive. And they tell the Kelmans, "Oh, you can say anything you want, Fremper. We're married." Mazel tov.
I love how Craig is just genuinely thrilled at this news, Dragon.
Okay, I know I've told you this before, Tim, but again, I'm gonna go deepest cuts here. Okay.
Deepest cuts. Don't go too deep, Dragon.
All right, fine. Surface level cut. Anyway, the point being, the Better Call Saul Blu-ray release, not the DVD, but the Blu-ray. They had commentaries on all the episodes, but on the bingo episode, the one where the Kettlemans were Kim took him back as clients and everything. They did a Kettle commentary, which was an in-character commentary of the Kettlemans.
Oh, I think I remember this.
Yes, and I told you this. And in that, all throughout that commentary, and again, it's pretty much them somehow watching like events that they.
I know, right?
But still, it's the fact that it's basically them commenting on the show but knowing all these real people. And like, oh my god, who is this man who's broken into our house taking?
Oh my god.
And just them again, like them watching for the first time, and throughout. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is like you saw Craig Hellman rooting for, I want these two crazy kids to get together.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So
Oh
that's
man, that is the deepest of deep cuts, Dragon. You're right. Oh, that's
anyway.
great. That's great.
But just getting back seriously, I
Craig
do
Kettleman
love.
is a slipping Kimmy shipper, Dragon.
No, seriously though, I do love that again the full circle element over here, where again the Kettlemans were the couple that again kind of brought them together ultimately, in which now Saul Goodman showing up as a couple with Kim Wexler. Again, the fact that it's the couples both having their significant others kind of dealing with each other. I really like that. I don't know, it's kind of
Totally.
important to me. All right, so Kim, I love the staging this. So as Saul Goodman essentially trying to bribe him, which again worked in the past when they bribed him. Go figure. He's the carrot approach, which by the way, subtle detail. I loved it. I don't know if you felt this way or not. I love that he's wearing kind of an orangish shirt, so he is dressed a little like a carrot.
Sure.
So as he's doing the carrot approach, Kim Wexler is inspecting the place, kind of confirming her suspicions. Like she saw an old woman kind of leave the place, and of course we know Kim Wexler does have a soft spot for the old folks.
Of course.
Which, remember, the cleverness of the Kettleman's con here is the fact that they are nearby a casino, so people who are doing their business are basically, they can get shorted because they're desperate gamblers. Anyway, so they're they're get Craig exonerated, or we're going to go to Howard Hamlin and tell him, like, for some reason you want us to, besmirch his name. Anyway, we want our lives back. We lost everything. We didn't deserve this. Now, I love this, Tiki. So basically what we end on the episode with, and this line cements so much, is that Kim Wexler, as we've established in her backstory, which again, the fundamental things about this character, she has lost everything. Like her mother was like on the run from debt collectors and everything. Kim Wexler was like on the street without shoes at times. Kim Wexler comes from very humble origins. So Betsy Kettleman's the antithesis of the most privileged again, Karen Prime.
Absolutely.
So that's what set.
And
that's when
like the whole the private school thing.
Yeah. So that's like the last straw for when she hears Betsy Kettleman say that. And the fact that she already doesn't like Betsy Kettleman for like the past that she already has with like that. Hearing that,
I got to admit, Dragon, Betsy Kettleman, this might be a hot take. Not particularly likable.
Nope. But in all the fun ways.
Uh-huh.
So Kim here, and again, I forgot to mention my favorite detail. I forget if I'm pretty sure this is the shot I was hyping up to you last episode that was in the trailer. Kim Wexler, her suit looking a lot like a Saul Goodman suit, so she's slowly but surely becoming Sally Goodman. Seriously, she's wearing a really colorful kind of blouse, and the suit's kind of pinstriped like Saul Goodman's, like kind of the checkered pattern on it. Anyway, so okay, enough of the carrot. Time for the stick. And I love how Odenkirk plays this whole scene where he's like, he's a little saddened by this, like, oh, he's a little emasculated.
Yeah, absolutely, Dragon. I this whole season is going to be like that. At least part one, Dragon. I feel like part one is the whole arc is going to be Kimmy just dragging Saul Goodman into the point of no return.
It's like him reconciling that. Okay, I guess Jimmy McGill really is gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, just seeing him like really, he's. I mean, part of it's maybe it's mainly that, but I'm a little emasculated. I wanted to go with my carrot approach, and your way's working here. It's kind of working too well. So anyway, so she basically she used her phone. I love that Craig says, "Oh, you have to dial 9." It was helping his own undoing.
Oh my God, yes.
So she calls her pal at the IRS investigations kind of section here, Justin Stangle or something.
So this conversation just has like Kim Wexler. Oh my God, she just fucking weaponizes the pleasantries here, Dragon.
Oh, Kim, you should come. He wants to bring you over for dinner. So the wife wants to bring you over for dinner sometime. Oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll do that sometime. Just Kim Wexler's so beloved. She's a beloved paragon in the legal world. I just love the fact she's so beloved, and yet she's married to Saul Goodman. But again, not really public knowledge, so
Right.
Anyway, so basically, she just lays out the scenario essentially of like, what if these? I have some people I'm going after here. Basically, they're bilking their clients, their tax clients, and all the sorts of stuff. And essentially, would that qualify as fraud, like internal, like a tax preparer fraud? Yes, it would. Can you connect me, patch me through? Who would take care of that? No problem, Kim, whatsoever. So Kim threatens to expose their tax preparing fraud. unless they make the deal to not go anywhere near Howard Hamlin, not tell Howard Hamlin, and importantly, this is the Kim Wexler again, it's the bifurcated sides of Kim Wexler in tandem here. Pay your clients what you stole from them. Like, she's very morally upright here. Okay, give your clients, I don't care what you tell them you're crooks, whatever, just give them their money back. Because she knows the Kettleman. She knows they steal money from people and institutions. They shouldn't do that. She's always been ticked off at them for that. So, setting things right. And Saul Goodman just sees, you see Betsy Kettleman losing all the control. It's just, oh God, seeing this really uptight woman just break down.
Yeah, but then of course the money becomes the ultimate kind of like test of like, I don't know, Saul. I think there's still some Jimmy in you. You gave him the money. Mommy's very disappointed in you, Jimmy.
So I just imagine. I was thinking this is ridiculous. Whatever. I just imagine Ray Seahorn doing like the finger thing, like.
Oh God! Totally.
That'd be her going. That would be her going full Sally Goodman, mind you. But
right.
But two subtle details I really loved. One, the way that Kim is framed in that scene where it racks focus and everything, that's identical to the bingo episode with the Kettlemans, where Jimmy was sitting down there while they were looking for the money upstairs. He says, "What money?" And anyway, so Jimmy's last line, harkening back to one of my favorite episodes of Better Call Saul, the flashback to Jimmy's childhood, the inflatable, wolves and sheep, and she says, "What?" And of course, wolves and sheep is a reference to the con man that basically shaped who Jimmy McGill basically was the genesis of Slipping Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Inspired, take from the till when you're owed. There are wolves and sheep in this world, and basically that's Kim basically deciding she's a wolf, not a sheep. And that's Jimmy reconciling that fact. Like, it's kind of I viewed it as a sad acceptance. What do you think?
That acceptance, yeah. I kind of viewed it maybe also a little bit sarcastically, like, like he can totally like now see Kim as a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Okay.
That's honestly kind of how I read it. Like, was a little bit like, yeah, okay, we're like wolves and sheep. It's coming full circle. She's becoming one of us,
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure if I like it.
All right, so the last detail of the episode there's a mystery detail. Like, it's going to keep the folks guessing. There was a car following them. So that brings us some speculation.
Oh man, we actually get to do speculation. I totally forgot about that.
Well, the main thing to speculate on is that car. So there are two lines of thought from what I
it's like you would think it's Nacho, but I don't think it, or Lalo, but I don't think it is because he's like geographically that wouldn't line up.
Yeah, he's in Mexico.
So my only guess, Dragon, my only guess right now is it's someone connected to Lalo.
I understand there's two theories. Now, my theory, and I think my theory is that it's based on the promo. I'm thinking Howard Hamlin's hired a PI.
I can see that. Okay.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy was necessarily. Additionally, I know he's a witness. I remember the witness from season 3. I wonder if he was additionally a PI, and maybe it's the same guy. But regardless, I'm betting money that Howard Hamlin hired a PI. That's what I think it is.
Uh-huh.
Now, the other theory, the one that makes sense, more than Lalo, because again, Lalo is he's in Mexico right now. Gus Fring keeping tabs on the lawyer who has connections to Nacho.
Yeah, that does make sense too.
And Lalo has connections to both
scenarios. Make sense. And Nacho's men keeping tabs on the lawyer also makes sense.
Yeah, Lalo's men. Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know why I'm getting the two. They're diametrically opposed to one another. I don't know why I'm getting them confused.
Probably because they were both brought up by Saul Goodman in his first appearance.
You're right. That probably is it. Yeah.
Anyway, so
man.
Here are the things like the teasers, kind of like, now this is not necessarily saying they're going to happen in the next episode. They kind of said this season on Better Call Saul, I think. So a few things that were thrown at us. I think there's going to be a boxing match with Howard Hamlin where Jimmy's going to be invited into the ring to box with Howard Hamlin.
Yes. Oh my God. And I'm stoked. Just give it to me.
Now I wonder if it's going to be like a promotional thing, like Jimmy's going to be doing a commercial with Howard Hamlin. I wonder if we're going to go that far with it. I don't know. Otherwise, but again, Howard Hamlin staying fit might just be a gym thing. We'll see. Again, Nacho's Odyssey going on, where I think we're going to see him in the. I think somehow he's going to escape the Salamanca clutches and just be on the run again, because at some point that has to happen, just to give tension of like what Mike's the big tension of the season is not like if Nacho's going to get killed by the Salamanca. It's going to be, is Nacho going to get killed by Mike? I think that's the big question.
Oh my God! Oh Jesus Christ! I don't want that to happen. Oh fuck!
I think that's the tension of the season.
Oh, Dragon, I am still traumatized by the whole Warner thing, man.
And remember, like that will be Mike killing the son of again the whole in his father's son.
Oh no! Don't even go there with the son thing. Jesus,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
that would
God.
be Mike completely. If Mike kills Nacho, that's him completely losing his soul.
Like, yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, so we have Nacho, and again, what I assume to be like, I think he's in like a petroleum tanker or something that's maybe bullet ridden at some point, which I think he's in like some like tube like thing with holes in it that looks like he's in like an oil like substance, like an oil tanker of some kind. So we saw in the trailer, so that's what I'm thinking. Anyways, the point being, Nacho's on his own El Camino trying to escape from Mexico. That's basically all we know, in that Lalo is looking rather Hitman-esque, with a silencer. So Lalo's coming correct at somebody, whether that's Fring or not. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. So, final thoughts, Dragon. I do think I like episode 1 just a little bit better, but I mean, it's still great. Again, I'm not entirely a fan of just how drawn out some of the stuff is. That's totally like a minority opinion I have with Vince Gilligan's editing style. I know. I'm sorry, Vince. Most of your editing kicks ass for me and directing. But all right, Dragon, final thoughts on your end? Also, just really quick, again, like the awesome return to form with the Kettlemans, awesome full circle stuff there. So,
you want me to tease up the next episode real quick?
Sure.
Next episode's called Rock and Hard Place. Rock and Hard Place. We're still doing the next 4 episodes are all ands. So
I know.
So far we keep doing it for the whole duos of it all with Kim and Jimmy. So Rock and Hard Place, and it's going to be both written and directed by Gordon Smith, the Wonderkin, Gordon Smith.
Do we have a title for the not the series finale, but like the mid finale?
The mid season?
Yeah.
Okay, do you mean like the one before they go on break or when they come after break?
The one before they go on break, like the cliffhanger leading into the break.
We know the directing and writing. We know who's directing and writing the last, and we don't know what the title is.
Dragon, I'm going to throw out a title, all right?
Okay, what do you got?
Goodman and Wexler.
That's not bad.
Right?
That's not, well, yeah, I mean, it's a little similar to Wexler v. Goodman, but you're right, though. It would be good with the and. Because remember, the whole thing of like Wexler McGill, the and was separated. They were separate, but and is together.
Exactly. Yeah.
The and, there would be precedent for the and.
All right.
Okay, final thoughts for me again. As I said before, I love Kim Wexler. I'm really loving Kim Wexler's descent and how it's kind of unnerving and kind of giving Saul Goodman pause, or at least reflection at the very least, on like Jimmy McGill's soul is flickering out with Kim Wexler's soul. Again, I love how our stories are linked by that both cons at play here. They're both kind of planning many steps ahead. Again, Gus Fring rather meticulously and is having that inane sense of people. And Jimmy McGill, again, having this really elaborate kind of Kettleman con that's going to feed into the Hamlin con. I'm sure with both, the damage will be truly calamitous. So I'm loving episode 2. I think on the rewatch, it really, really held up well. I think we're going strong. All right. Oh, by the way, folks, don't forget we have a Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad themed ride storming coming up
tomorrow. I don't know. I only said tonight because technically it is tonight on your day. Anyways, midnight.
Regardless,
time
folks,
zones. I really botched that, but yeah.
Coming at you next in our trio of Saul.
Howard Hamlin, putt, anyone?
Yep, the HHM Open, kids. Yeah. So again, a lot of fun, kind of like a theme park of the Albuquerque verse coming at you next. All right. All that said, remember, kids, when you get that phone call, make it count. Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman Associates is the one-stop shop for all your legal needs.
And with that, we are adjourned.
We could totally be lawyers.
Totally. Our kids have to go to public school.
Get out.